I would say the obsession obsesses you even during your sleep.
And what's your obsession?
Execution. I need things to be executed perfectly. We do things that we believe into. Honestly speaking, we never made a market research. Never. If I have to copy somebody else just because they sell more, I won't do that. Failure, as you said, is the most important part of the journey. I think my son will be rather proud of his daddy to make something taking risk than just surviving.
How that journey brought you to be fearless. Hi everybody, for Label Ventures, I'm Giorgio Salvati, your host, and you're watching Human Equity, the show that tests the human side no one ever talks about. Today's episode is about reimagining obsession, with a great mind, Marco Borraccino, a designer who left the safety of a big brand to follow a single, relentless vision. That vision led him to Singer, a cultural lifestyle brand born on the West Coast, from reimagining Porsche 911 and redefining the language of desire. Marco co-founded Singer Reimagined not to make just another watch, but to reinvent the way we hold time itself, to read its thinnest fragments, sometimes for play and sometimes simply for survive its passing. In Marco's world, time is not measured, it is reimagined. Thank you for coming. Marco Borraccino, the CEO of Singer Reimagined, which is a venture that you have been fostering for quite some time at this point.
Yeah, but thank you for the invitation. And we launched the watch brand back in 2017, and you actually started talking about it a few years before. But it's more than 10 years that we are on this.
And where are you now?
Wow, that's a good question. It's been a long journey. It seems much longer than what it is in reality. And I think we are at the turning point. The brand, I think, is really start to blooming right now. So we putting a lot of effort, both in product development, communication. Everything is really like growing.
What brings you to say it's the right moment that I can see the light, or I can see my vision turning into something concrete?
Let's say is the worst time ever in history because of everything going on.
Of course.
But when you start with a venture, with an idea, with a project, you have an ideal, and you think is the only way to do that. And the more you move forward, the more you realize that there are several ways to do that. And after almost 10 years, we understand that the possible initial way was not the only one. And now we are fostering some other ideas. We are developing some more, let's say, more wider idea of the brand that let me say that today more than ever is the moment where Singer Reimagined is starting really to become a brand.
So when you heard that Trump impose its tariffs, what did you do the second moment, the moment afterwards, that you realized that maybe you had to do something?
I actually realized immediately that I was not doing anything because the tariff that is imposing, they will be paid by his own citizen. And that's the issue. The people didn't understand that in the beginning. They thought that the brands from Europe would pay that. So I received immediately emails and phone calls from our agent in the US, our partners there. Everybody was absolutely terrified. And I explained them quite easily that every single country in the world has taxes. They are not used to that, but that's reality. In Italy, we have 22% of VAT. In France, it's 21%. In Spain, I don't know what it is. In the end, what they will pay is the equivalent of European VAT. So, yeah, it's not cool, but that's it. It's their fault.
Personal obsessions. at this point, but an obsession is something which sticks from the right seconds you wake up in the morning till the last seconds you close your eyes, endlessly. Because at the end, an obsession is an obsession. What's your obsession?
I would say the obsession obsess you even during your sleep. I do sleep with my notebook beside my bed, because sometimes I just wake up with an idea, and I know that if I don't take it down I sketch it, I will lose it in the
And
morning.
when you were a kid, what was your obsession? Do you remember it?
I've always been obsessed with cars. Always, since ever. My daddy used to work in the car business, and I was like, I grew up with cars in my mind.
What's your favorite car?
That's a difficult question. I cannot answer, because it depends on the day, it depends on the time of the day, and depends on what I have to do.
I thought it was a Porsche. No, or
Porsche is one of my favorite cars, for sure. Vintage ones.
Porsche, the way that people used to say.
And but it's true that depending on the as I was saying, on the time of the day or the use. I mean, I love, in general, vintage ones. So cars going from the 60s to the early 90s, where cars were still analog and very much you could feel the car itself. So as a sport car, the Porsche 911, it is my favorite one for sure. Otherwise, old Range Rover is the alternative when you need to go with the child and the dog. Or I don't know, a Fiat 500 when you need to go to the local market.
Sure.
I think car fit to me as a cloth fit to a lady. So I like to change car depending on what I have to do.
Well, sounds very interesting on the side where, if all these things about experience and experiencing moments lead to symbols, and those symbols lead to character, and character leads to a sense of appreciation of the moment, I would say. If all of that also is adding up to sound, I think then you have a full spectrum of what could lead to a great community of people all embracing this huge amount of ingredients, which sometimes are de facto the secret sauce for developing a brand. And what was your secret sauce?
I think as a designer, the idea of creating something that would tend to be timeless, and at the same time groundbreaking in terms of innovation, in terms of content that the product can bring, is the winning recipe for Singer watches. So mixing together this 60s, 70s taste with some state-of-the-art technology and forward thinking in terms of functionality is what differentiates us from anything else.
And why Singer? You mentioned Singer, so
yeah,
that was I was on the other side of the world, California. You got a great guy who basically ahead of many has redeveloped the way people should appreciate things and experience them. What brought you to Singer? Singer was not really a brand extremely known to.
No, that was very interesting to me, because when Rob started with the idea of Singer, the very beginning, it was taken as a nut, because it was touching possibly the most iconic car in the world, and everybody was screaming like it was a big mistake to modify any Porsche 911. And eventually demonstrate that what he was doing was completely respectful to the initial idea of the car itself. And what he was doing was actually improving and paying a tribute to that. So that for me was very inspiring, literally. I really fell in love with the concept, and that what pushed me to get in touch with him. And it was like love at first sight. I mean, we realized each other that we were made out of the same thing. We both were art designer. We both love. We are passionate about the design of these iconic items, that cars, watches, or whatever, and we both are obsessed with perfection, with pushing the thing a bit farther. When you talk with him, he always use this expression of tuning to 11, so one more than 10. That is a reference to a old movie, but it's the idea of going the extra.
Do you think everyone should have this as a manifesto? Do you see things that are happening today that are not pushing the boundaries?
Today is a mess.
So what do you mean by that?
I mean that we are not looking for. I mean, the industry, the world today is not pushing the boundaries anymore. It's just trying to make profit out of what we are doing, and this is good for investors. If you are a creator, if you are a creative person, you cannot look things from that perspective. That is a consequence of what you are doing. So if you are obsessed with something, you do something for the need of doing it. And because of that, people will pay, will be willing to have what you created. If you are just producing for the sake of selling, the thing will last much less in terms of longevity of the product and longevity of the full concept of the idea of what you are producing.
And you feel you have to sacrifice something to achieve that objective or goal?
Let's say that you sacrifice almost everything because what you do, let's say, goes. All your life turn around what you are creating in a way, and this is possibly the biggest sacrifice you can make.
And there's something you sacrificed?
Sleep, of course, and
Right.
then it is a sacrifice that is worth, because whatever you do, whatever you go through, that it can be a win, it can be a loss, but whatever you do, you put a lot of yourself into it, and when you achieve the result, the reward you get make you forget the sacrifice you did. So it's a cycle that keep repeating, and you cannot get out of it. I mean,
But I can't believe.
Personally speaking.
I can't believe. Sorry to interrupt you, but I can't believe it's just sacrifice of sleep. Did you sacrifice something else? I mean, looking deeper into all these single moments that made you tweak, perfect, or eventually expand certain thoughts, which might have brought you to different path. What was exactly, if you can focus it or if you can materialize in front of you, what the sacrifice you could identify in your journey? Not just maybe on Singer, maybe that kind of sacrifice which made I have to sacrifice this in order to.
But as I said, the honestly speaking, I don't feel it. I don't feel I'm sacrificing something, because in the end, the reward that I get is so strong, is so powerful, that make you swipe away the stress, the time, the effort, and everything.
But you mentioned time. I mean, what about family time?
But that's the thing. That's the reason why I decided recently to change my lifestyle in order to improve and to have a better family time. I got my first child quite late. Like, it's going to be 3 in a couple of months. So I really wanted to enjoy and to spend as much time as possible with him.
Beautiful.
So I moved away with my wife and my child from Switzerland. I got back to Italy, in the south of Italy, and we're living in the countryside, beautiful place. I mean, we literally work and live in the same place. That is also not easy, but allowed us to be always together, and I want to enjoy every second of the life of my son. So even though I'm working, I can look at him running in the garden and playing with the ball. So it's like a choice that make us far away from where things happen, but with the modern technology and everything, we can always be connected.
Do you feel he's going to pick up all the lessons that you might have taught him? Do you hope he's going to lead your company at some point, or you wish for him to do something else?
What I'm sure is that myself and his mommy, we are instilling into him the passion for art, for design, for cars,
sure,
watches. He's very much already into it, and I mean, he will follow his own route, but I'm sure he will have the sensitivity to appreciate things that are made with the soul. That's what I really wish for him.
And are you gonna tell him something about obsessions as well, or where it started, or are you?
It already started.
It's already started.
He has quite a strong character already, and he has already his little obsession. Is extremely precise.
And what's your obsession? This episode of Human Equity is supported by Spirit Torino, the Italian excellence in art of listening. These are not simple devices. They are engineered and crafted musical instruments where sound and words reach us exactly as the author intended. It is a celebration of human equity at its finest. I believe in Spirit Torino. I believe in excellence over mediocrity, because mediocrity is a mere accumulation, while excellence creates emotions, belongings, truth, and beauty. If you want to know more, you'll find all the details in the bio.
My obsession is for execution. I need things to be executed perfectly, and that's something that can make me lose my sleep. Literally, I'm obsessed with things that are made to be perfect in every single detail, and this is something that you need to teach to people. Sometimes you need to insist, because in today reality, we go very, very quickly, very, very fast. We move forward very quickly, and people do not take the time to look at things in detail. And when you are creating something that is worth what it is, you cannot afford just to make something. You need to make it perfect. And when you think I mean, I don't want to compare myself to Michelangelo. I'm very, very far away from that. But he was refusing to use any piece of marble that wasn't perfect, because what he was creating had to reach the perfection. And that's why it is still here. So when you want to create something that lasts, you just cannot accept compromises. You always need to shoot for the best.
There are many who say that perfection might lead to dissolvency, because sometimes that leads to oblivion. Mm-hmm. Displacing time, for sure, is what we all feel a brand should does what you do should actually point out, because the time is for us a symbol of what we leave behind. What are the obsessions that those choices that lead to a product, those moment of perfection that you want to lead to your brand?
I mean, perfection is useless without meaning. And as a creative person, as an entrepreneur, what I want to achieve is to produce something that is meaningful, that belongs to today, but can be meaningful for the future as well. That's the spirit of things or objects or ideas that last. So whenever we create something that has content, that has meaning, and that is possibly the first time ever that has been created or seen. So that's I would say the philosophy behind my work and behind what we create as a company is for me is useless. I mean, if I have to copy somebody else just because they sell more, I won't do that. Honestly speaking, we never made a market research. Never. We do things that we believe into. That's it. If you keep doing that, maybe you are wrong, maybe you are right. But what is real is that people from outside can perceive the fact that you are true to yourself, and they can trust what you do.
So how do you achieve the trust of your
It takes
parties?
It takes time. It takes time because, I mean, if we are talking about the watch business, but whatever business, we are a newcomer on the market. There are brands that are around for 200 years. So it's much easier to trust somebody that is much older than us. On the other side, we demonstrate that we can make things in a very consistent way. So little by little, day after day, we are conquering a little something on the field, and we don't look to sell as Rolex. That's not the point. I really want to be happy in my life and enjoy what I do. So I want to keep it at a human scale, and so we are happy with this very slow pacing development that fit absolutely our capacity.
And how do you feel the next CEO of your company would think? How do you feel the next CEO might be fitting this idea?
I will wish him good luck.
You think there is going to be a next after you?
I hope so. Yeah, for sure. I'm actually.
Are you ready?
Sometimes I'm really thinking I should just take care of the creative side and leave somebody else managing the business side. I'm sure I will enjoy it much more because that's my own business.
But it's a tough decision, right?
It is a tough decision. That's why I'm still here. But
why is it tough for you, if I may?
It's very difficult to create something and to be also the promoter of what you have done. That's terrible. I hate to sell watches. Honestly, I And I have to do that because people want to talk with me when we are at a fair, when we are at an event. But that's the last thing I'm able to do, because I'm not a salesperson. I can talk about what I can do the better. I mean, or what I think I can do the better, and that's it. If I don't want to talk about prices, I don't want to talk about this stuff. That's not my point. So being in both the position sometimes is quite intense.
What do you mean by tense? I mean, is something which makes you
Because I have to force myself.
angry at something, or
No, but
uncomfortable, maybe?
Uncomfortable to be, how to say, to be the creator and the person that has to promote my own creations. I mean, if you take any artist, Dave Agents, why?
Well,
you put a lot of emotion, you put a lot of yourself in whatever an artist does. I do, somehow I consider myself as an artist because I do create things. I do take things out of my mind and I put it on paper and I realize them. And it's just not natural for me to be on the other side and to promote it. So that's where my position is quite uncomfortable sometimes.
And do you feel, with this enormous revolution we have over the AI, do you feel the AI will at a certain point take your job, or so you're sticking to both roles for one reason or the other, or do you feel
as you
want to keep the leading role for avoiding this process?
I think the mankind has an incredible power that is his brain. And the brain, together with the emotion that somebody can feel, I think is cannot be beaten by artificial intelligence. Of course, what AI can do is mind-blowing, incredible, literally. But what shall we do if we leave everything to AI? I mean,
dehumanizing.
Absolutely. I mean, we just cannot
It's
spend our day at resting and doing nothing. It's against our own nature. And I mean, people, we get crazy. I mean, as humankind need to express itself. Everyone, in a way or in another. Can be drawing, can be cooking, can be, I don't know, whatever. Playing a piano. AI can do everything. And so what? It's a demonstration of our intelligence of creating something that is so advanced. That's true. But is it really necessary and it is really useful? Not sure about it.
We see a lot of Gen Z, Gen X, embracing communities, embracing the good old stories that were de facto the reason why a certain memory comes along, gets, printed over the certain momentum, and those are moments where people are relating to. So I understand the fact that you looking for stay away from the general digital environment and keeping the momentum literally of things might allow you to embrace those community better, talk to those community better. I'm always thinking how can a brand becomes a symbol of lifestyle, a symbol of for many communities. This is the most difficult process for every brand. They're all looking for, no?
But it depends on what your target is. Today, every brand tends to produce, to create something for the widest amount of people. This is not our way. This is not my way. I don't care about it. I want to interest to a very little amount of person that can understand why I do this. And that's where you can deploy quality, is where and when you can deploy new ideas that are long-lasting and not just tech-generated.
Well, then your obsession is most likely has a legacy.
I hope so. I really hope to leave my little mark, and that my son can be proud of what his daddy has done when he was so young.
Well, I think then the only thing I'm going to ask you, just for curiosity, how do you amazed your community in the recent months? What have you, because as you are an obsessed person about your product, I'm sure you're obsessed also to show everyone what you have created.
Yeah.
What are you wearing on your wrist, if I may?
I'm wearing my last obsession. is the new Caballero collection.
What that's the name? What's the name come?
Caballero.
Where does the name come from?
Means gentleman in Spanish.
Okay.
And it's the idea of elegant timepiece with a very strong character. And the fact that the watch is quite slim, quite small,
beautiful,
but with these 4 red rubies on the dial as a statement, made me think of a gentleman standing in the middle of a room. Was not like wearing colorful things or anything extravagant, but his own presence was meaningful, and everybody was staring at him because of his presence itself.
Of course.
So the watch that we created, as in my idea, is this presence, because it's not something that shouts, it's not something that scream or want to be seen, but once you have seen it, you cannot stop staring at it. So that's where the Caballero name came from.
Failures are always part of the journey of every entrepreneur, and not just entrepreneurs. Everyone makes mistakes. What is actually your greatest mistake, or if you have a bunch, what those mistakes brought you? Because you look like in great shape, you look amazing, you're doing great. But what were those things, those tweaks or glitch in your journey?
Let's say that failure, as you said, is the most important part of the journey for everything. I can say my failures started very, very early. I didn't like to go to school. I didn't like to study. I got, how to say, I lost 2 times the year when I was at high school, just because I was not stupid, but I didn't like to spend time like on books, because what I was doing was not interesting me. So I was attending the what you call liceo scientifico, and I really wanted to make art, but my parent decided for me that I had to do that. So I did it really against my own will. So it took like 2 years longer because I didn't want to. But that time that I spent repeating helped me to understand even better what I wanted to do after. So when I finally reached the degree and I went to the university, I had a very clear idea of what I wanted what I didn't want to do. So I attended the very first industrial design teaching back in time in Milan at the Politecnico, and I realized my dream to designing things. That was something I was really trying to express since ever during 7 years at the high school, drawing cars on my notebook instead of listening to the professor. So, but it teach me as well that it's important to go forward in your life. So whenever you face a failure, you need to be nimble and agile enough to react as quickly as you can. So, and this is something that I realized recently, because whenever you face a difficult time, if you are, how to say, if you listen and if you look at things in a clever way, you can use the distress, the failure moment to generate something else that is positive and counterbalance the effect, the negativity of the failure, and transform it into energy to go farther and to do something that is even more interesting. Another example is already when I was creating things for Singer. Since day one, I had in mind one thing that I wanted to do, and suddenly another brand did something very, very similar to what I had in mind, that what I have already designed but was not produced. So I was really pissed off because I was thinking it was my fault because I was not quick enough to deliver the thing and so on. And finally, it was the best thing that could have happened, because this frustration pushed me to bring my idea even farther and release something that in the end became possibly the most important talking piece that we ever created, that is the diving watch, the dive track.
It's very interesting how you break boundaries with your ideas. I'm sure lots of mistakes have been part of that journey, because breaking boundaries is not as easy as it appears to the many that today look at the end game. Just that. Interesting is, to me, I mean, it's always been interesting to me how you are looking to break every single boundaries with every single idea you have that comes to materialize into a beautiful thing or a beautiful product. And what brings you to today to why you want to break boundaries? Why do you want to do? I understand the search of perfection. That you said it's your objective, but what really makes you want to take that risk?
But there's possibly the adrenaline that goes with that. Like
Sure.
You are walking on the fine lane between success and disaster. So
Total.
that's where the excitement comes from. If you're, just walking on the safe side, it's cool, it's nice, but you want to have any emotion, and I think that's the key: emotion and vibration, the feeling of doing something that was never tempted or never executed before. Make you feel. Make me feel completely different or much better, because give you the perception of creating something new, creating something that provide a different feeling or a different emotion also into people that are eventually purchasing or using what you are doing. And that's the thing. Of course, the failure, as just to go back, is always behind the corner, but is the how to say, the emotion that is generate the situation that is really electrifying and satisfying.
Don't you think taking risks might be a potential liability now that you have a progeny?
I think my son would be rather proud of his daddy to make something taking risk than just, surviving. I think it's important to show him that, success comes with an effort. And if you don't take risk, it's difficult to achieve great success. So you need to find a balance, for sure. You won't make things that are without sense. But I think, everything can happen. But today we have so many opportunities that if something goes really wrong, I think we can always find a way to get back and step back again on the scene. So as far as health is there, I always say you can do whatever you want.
Well, thank you for coming. Thank you for joining.
My pleasure.
And it's been a great pleasure to have this chat with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So, if this episode resonates with you, subscribe, hit the alert button, and follow us for more episodes that reveal the stories behind the people and building what's next. This is Human Equity. I'm Giorgio Salvati. See you in the next episode.